Hello folks, today on a nice sunny April 1st I'll be replacing a CV joint on this Audi A4. The wheel bolt sizes are 17mm. The drive shafts are easy enough to take out of these cars. First I will loosen the 17mm bolt on the end of the CV joint. I have somebody standing on the brake here before I try to loosen this nut. Now as you can see, the hub started to turn independent of the disc, so I'm putting a wheel stud in here to lock everything together. I just want to loosen the bolt a little bit so as I can tap the CV joint in, and with that done now I can remove the bolt fully. Now I need to remove the two plastic trays from under the engine. The securing clips just need a half turn to come loose. There are three along the front edge of the tray. One at each side. Another one here in the middle. Two more at the back. Six bolts hold the inner drive shaft joint to the gearbox flange. The tool for removing these bolts is an M10 12-point spline bit. The drive shaft bolts on these cars can often be full of muck, and if that's the case you'll need to clean them out with a screwdriver and tap the bit into them so it doesn't slip. I was lucky with this one. The big plastic under tray did its job and kept all the muck away. I should mention that somebody is in the car with their foot on the brake, which will stop the drive shaft from turning while I'm trying to loosen the bolts. Couple of taps just to break the seal, and then a screwdriver in the gap. That's it, drive shaft is now free. With both ends of the drive shaft now free, to actually remove it I need to turn the steering to the right. If I was removing the other drive shaft I would have to turn the steering to the left. I'm clearing the drive shaft towards the back of the gearbox and down underneath it. It's just caught on the plastic here. That's it. Drive shaft out. Here we have a nice shiny new CV joint. With a nice new boot, and this is the clip that secures the joint to the drive shaft. and the other two clips are for the boot. I need to remove this clip and pull back the old rubber and then bang the old CV joint off with a hammer. Well, that one put up a bit of a struggle, normally to come off with 1 or 2 taps. Now you can see the old clip, the securing clip that holds the joint onto the shaft here, and that's in good shape, so I'll reuse that. The reason I want to reuse it is because sometimes these get damaged when you're putting the CV joint on, and I want to keep the new clip as a backup just in case. If I were to damage the old clip taking it off and then damage the new one, I'd be left with none at all, and they're very hard to buy on their own. Here I'm squeezing the supplied CV grease into the new joint before I fit it. Now after I've done this, I'll be tapping the new joint onto the shaft, and what I'll be doing is just tapping it down a bit, then checking to see if the clip has been damaged, and if it hasn't been damaged and is all the way in, I can tap the joint down the rest of the way. Okay, here we go now. Just a little tap and you can see the joint went down a bit. And now I'm going to just take the shaft out and have a look if the clip is now invisible, in other words gone all the way in. Yep, no sign of it there. So it's inside the joint, and now I can tap the joint down the rest of the way. And that's it. You can see now the joint is all the way down on the shaft. No splines showing. I find this oil filter wrench makes an easy job of getting the new clip down and clicking into place. That's it. You can hear the click. Clickety click. This drive shaft is now ready to be refitted. And with the drive shaft in place, first thing is to slot the CV joint in. And now to get the bolt in, just a couple of threads to hold it from falling back out. If you have any questions about this job, we have a forum at DIYcarguide.com, and you're very welcome to post your questions there. And now I'm just getting all the inner bolts in a few threads, make sure they're lined up. And once they're lined up, I can get the ratchet on and start tightening. If you're watching this video on YouTube and you find it useful, please remember to click the like button. I'm just going around them with a hand ratchet now just to make sure they are actually tight. A good swing on the CV bolt wraps this up for this time, and thanks very much for watching.